Hello and welcome to the Blue Shadow Podcast. My name is Joey,
I am Dan.
and today we're going to kind of go back to something that we did when we first started our podcast. We've kind of abandoned as we started to release more episodes, but this was the idea of us kind of checking in. We were doing it weekly, and now we're going to try and do it monthly. Just check in on what we're watching, reading, playing, what's going on in our lives that we are enjoying and want to talk about. This was actually Dan's idea to do this segment, which we really liked, but it kind of disappeared. But we're going to try and reappear it because we like it so much.
Yes. So, Joey, what have you been watching recently?
My wife and I are currently watching one of our favorite actually. We watched it independently before we even started dating. But one of our favorite shows, and that is Psych. This is a old like comedy-ish like show that was on USA Network. It stars James Rodriguez and Dule Hill. And James Roday plays a fake psychic. And if you've never heard of it, if you have heard of it, you know it's fantastic. But he plays a fake psychic, and there's funny hijinks ensue, and they solve a new murder every week, and it's just really enjoyable. You've not watched it, Dan, have you?
I've not.
That's okay. There's a lot of TV
It's
to
on
be
my
watched.
there is a ton of TV to be watched, but it's a bad season for me
Would you say?
because it's a bad season for me to be watching
Because
TV.
it's football Philly season. It's Philadelphia season.
It's football season. I love football. And shameless plug, I'm going to say it now. Stay tuned. I'm doing a episode on which NFL teams I think Star Wars characters would root for as a totally biased fan. There will be total bias in there as an Eagles fan.
I've seen the
But
notes.
yes,
Seems pretty interesting.
stay tuned for that in the coming week or so.
I did just beat Dan at fantasy
But
football this week. Technically, there's still a few more players left, but it's his defense and my running back, so I think we're good.
my defense already has an interception, so we'll see.
I'm feeling pretty comfortable. But I did want to say one more thing about Psych, and I don't know if you've ever gone back and watched something like sometimes like when you watch this stuff that you liked forever ago, and you kind of revisit it, and you're
Hmm.
oh, that's not as good as I remember. I was a little worried. I had watched like over and over again in like junior high.
Hmm.
And then like I watched it once when I was in college. So that would have been like probably 6 or 7 years ago. Ugh. And then I was like, I want to do it. I want to watch it. And I was so relieved when I was like, this is so good. I'm still enjoying it just as much as the first time I saw it.
Nice.
I do remember a lot of
That's
the
always
murders though.
that's that's fine. It's not about reliving it for the first time.
It's
It's
about
about
the ride.
comfort.
It's true. And this is a comfort show. It's relaxing for me.
I know. My weird comfort show is Criminal Minds. Just get into it.
My wife likes it. She's made me watch it.
If you,
It's freaky. I don't like it.
I'd say if you could see Joey's face, he does not agree with my statement.
I mean, like my comfort show is like Bob's Burgers and Psych, and you're like gruesome murder. Psych has the gruesome murders, I guess. I guess I get it. It's a matter of your headspace when you first watched it, not so much the show itself, maybe.
Right now, my other comfort show is Parks and Rec. My
Oh,
girlfriend and I are watching it. We are
oh, it's a great show.
in the middle of the Eagleton Pawnee saga.
Hmm.
Um, Ron's rebuilding the third floor, so
It's a great show.
anything from Michael Scher is pretty funny.
I am,
But
and I'm envious of you watching Parks and Rec. I know you can only watch so much stuff, but that's a
like
comfort
Ted,
show right there.
like Ted Lasso.
I know I need to watch Ted Lasso. That takes us right into what are you reading, Dan? Have you been reading anything?
I just finished the Wizard of Oz. Very different than the movie. Was not was not expecting that.
When he told me
Um,
he finished reading The Wizard of Oz, I was like, that's a book.
it's a series.
It's a series? What are the other books called?
Oh, give me a second.
Oh,
They're
see,
not in my.
It's a series, and then he doesn't even know what they're called.
They're not in the sequels are not in the free section of Apple audiobooks. Series.
I'm
Holy
enamored by
crap.
this. How many books are there?
Um, a ton. The Wizard of Oz, The Marvelous Land of Oz, The Ozma of Oz, Dorothy and the Wizard of Oz, The Road to Oz, The Emerald City of Oz.
All right, we get the point.
Dude,
But
there's an absolute ton, all written by Frank Baum. So
did you
man, he
enjoy
was
it though? You liked it?
I did. It was different. I went into it expecting the movie, and honestly, in the prologue, they're like, "This is not like the movie." So if those are your expectations, drop them.
Would you say you liked it better
But
than the movie, or you prefer the movie's take on it?
I mean, like anything, you can add infinitely more detail. So it was pretty cool getting to spend more time with the characters and them really fleshing out. You're familiar with the story, correct?
Hmm.
So they get to flesh out their gifts a little bit more of courage, brains, and a heart.
That's really nice.
So we get to see how that ends up for them.
You got me wanting to read The Wizard of Oz. What is happening here? Um,
It's
for
free if you want to listen to it. I'll send you the link.
my wife's trying to get me to read A Court of Thorns and Roses, so that's going to be my first audiobook. But for myself reading, I am still oh so slowly because of when we're going to talk about shortly in the playing section. I'm still slowly chugging my way through Into the Dark by Claudia Gray. This is the third High Republic book from phase one. I'm years behind in the High Republic, but I'm really enjoying it so far. And my favorite question that I can ask myself is which form do I want to consume my Star Wars today? Do I want to play a video game? Do I want to watch something? Do I want to read something? I'm consuming a lot of Star Wars these days.
It's a smooth transition. Yeah.
That is a smooth transition into what I'm playing. Oh wow, yeah,
Yeah.
because I'm playing Star Wars Outlaws. This game, I mean, my wife started playing Astrobot, and I'm getting the biggest amount of FOMO, but I'm loving Star Wars Outlaws so much. I just get so lost in the game. And I'm a bit I love open world games, but I usually am more like a do this, checklist. But
Hmm.
I'm walking around Moss Eisley and I'm like, oh, I should talk to this person. Then I find myself like on some weird quest, like smuggling something for someone. And I'm like, I'm gonna do a main quest now. Then on my way to the main quest, I see another little door, and then I hack into the door, and then I go and I like make the clan angry, and then I'm running away from the Empire. It's so good. It's such an immersive experience. Sorry, I just gushed about
It's
Outlaws for a while.
as you should. It is on my list of things to play. Um, Joey's very mad at me because I'm working my way through The Last of Us Part 2 slowly but surely.
You started playing this in
I
like last November,
Okay, man, I don't have the time.
but tell them what you have the time to play.
Recently I've gotten back into Siege because those are pretty quick games. So that's been pretty fun. Um, I played about 4 games of the new season of Fortnite. Hated it,
Do you
but
play
it's
with the
also
Legos? Are you a Lego person then? I know
not yet.
about Fortnite.
It's nostalgic for me, Fortnite, but Last of Us Part 2 is the main story game I'm playing right now. Again, I don't have as much time, and I'll always throw in College Football 25.
Also, The Last of Us Part Two is so sad. So I don't blame you for needing a little bit of levity.
Yeah, Joey's saying, "Well, you could play for 20 minutes," and I'm thinking to myself, I was damn near in tears the last time I played it.
The trailer for the
So
Did you see the trailer for the second season of the show?
no, intentionally avoiding it.
I didn't send it to you because I was like, I don't I think you could watch it if you really wanted to. It wouldn't do too much for you, but I'm not emotionally ready for the season two of the show. That's all I have to say.
No, me neither. I mean, I just need a day where I can go through and just play it. I beat The Last of Us Part 1 in a weekend, more or less.
And then I gave you part two with
And
the warning it's longer. And I think that
and
scared you.
I was live texting you updates. And just so you guys are listening, Joey and his wife are big fans of the game.
Okay, okay, okay.
So
Careful.
much.
I like part one and
Okay,
two. My wife likes part one only.
I'm on part 1. They were such large fans of part 1. I told them where I was, and I was told to quote, call them both when I'm done. And I did. And I called Joe. He picked up the phone and goes, "Wait, I have to put it on speakerphone. I have to go get Jen. I'll be right back." And yeah, so
Oh,
maybe
just
when I finish part 2, I'll have my tissues ready. And
we can hit record.
yes, we should. But
No,
I'm excited for it. And then
we might have to bring on a licensed therapist for that one.
I'll be okay.
I maybe I almost have a biology PhD. That's close enough, right?
Yeah,
I need counseling. I can't give counseling. Anyway, I
I
think this
try
was
my
fun.
hardest.
We are going to try and redo this more every month. I miss doing this.
Yes.
Enjoying hearing, a little more about what exactly you've been up to because we talk a lot about a lot of things, but not necessarily like this structured. I am enjoying it.
Before we go, I want to give you one recommendation of a watch.
For me or for them?
Longer show for you and for
Okay.
anybody. The series Chernobyl on HBO. It is done by Craig Mazin, who did the Last of Us show. And this is the reason we have the Last of Us show
It is.
because he did Chernobyl and HBO told him, "You have now the freedom to do whatever you want." It is a fantastic show. It is 5 episodes. You should watch it. It's very sad, but very good.
I guess if I'm making you sad with The Last of Us, you can make me sad with Chernobyl.
You'll be you'll be angry watching Chernobyl.
Oh God. On that lovely note, anything else to add, Dan?
No, everybody should go watch Ted Lasso too. I'll shamelessly plug that.
Dan told me the first day we met that I need to watch Ted Lasso. That was over 2 years ago, and I really know I need to and I want to. It's coming soon, I
I'll
promise.
I'll I'll finish Last of Us when you start Ted Lasso.
I still think I'll finish Ted Lasso before you finish The Last of Us part two.
Yeah, because Ted Lasso's feel
And with
good.
that, please consider liking and subscribing on the podcast platform of your choice or on our YouTube page. Consider giving us a follow on Twitter or X at Blue Shadow Pod or on Instagram at Blue Shadow Podcast. Thank you so much again for listening to us bicker as always, and we will see you next time.
See you next time.